Kenya politics today has reached a very fascinating and also a confusing place. Let me explain. And those of us who are soccer fans will understand this immediately. You can go and watch a game and both sides have very exciting players. But then the game is boring. Why? Because it is a match which is too technical. Both sides are trying strategy and tactics that are very specific, very technical, and very boring. And so you as a spectator feel cheated because the exciting game you're expecting does not unfold. Friends, that is precisely where our politics is today. Now don't get me wrong. Today's mega rally in Kibra, Baba's bedroom, was as exciting as they come. And the rally was packed. Hey, there were very many people. Anybody who has attended any of Raila's meetings, any of Raila's mega rallies, the Azimio mega rallies, will understand me when I say what I'm about to say. There seems to be a blackout, or at least suppression, in our media. A very deliberate effort not to show the real crowds, the masses of people at these Azimio mega rallies. That's why they're being called mega rallies. And some media outlets are even giving these rallies a kind of blackout. Very brief pictures or video, and then they are shot in very tight angles. Tight angles means you do a close-up. You don't want to show the whole ground because some of it is empty. Those are the kind of angles being implemented to shoot Azimio mega rallies. Of course, these are the tight angles that the UDA party is very used to mask the lack of crowds at their meetings. But I guess media houses are scared. And somebody's out there very determined to prove to us that the Azimio movement and UDA are almost the same, neck to neck, like Chebukati's election results. Hakuna kitu kama hiyo. There is a huge difference. Azimio iko na watu. Azimio iko na watu. Now, before I go very far and forget, please stick with me to the end of this show. I have a mega surprise for you. A very pleasant surprise for all Kumekuchans, and people who follow me. So stick with me for that surprise. So, as I was saying, please don't misunderstand me. Today's rally was huge, and I'll come to the highlights of today's rally shortly. I just want to get this point across about tactics and strategy. On the Azimio side, we still don't know what Baba's big move, what Baba's real move is. And it seems that Azimio's strategy is to make every effort to keep the opponents in suspense, and to send them in all kinds of different wrong directions, so that when they pounce, it'll be sudden and unexpected. In any undertaking under the sun, where you have an opponent, the element of surprise is invaluable. And this is the game Azimio is playing. But they have a problem. Kenya's youth, Kenya's instant coffee youth, instant results. We do something now, we see the results immediately, or at least tomorrow, latest next week, are getting impatient. They're wondering, Baba, what is happening. And you know, the youth have a lot of energy. Yeah, they want to do something. While a mzee can sit patiently under the shade of a tree in a very hot African afternoon and wait patiently, the youth can't wait. And in my opinion, that is one of the main reasons behind one of the highlights of today's mega rally. And that is the launch of a new movement within Azimio, known as the Movement for Defense of Democracy, MDD. Yeah, if you see photographs of that rally or video clips, you'll notice a lot of people wearing maroon berets. Yeah, kama ile ya Bobby Wine in Uganda. Yeah, but this one is maroon. That is the brand new MDD. And today we heard that activities are being planned, yeah, for MDD separate from the Azimio mega rallies, yeah, to keep the youth occupied and doing something towards the cause of justice for Kenyans, towards electoral justice in the country called Kenya. On the other side of the political divide, Ruto's administration is also up to something. Yeah, they have not shown their hand yet, but there's something big in the works. Yeah, that's all I can say for now. Of course, the whole objective being to make this nightmare of the whistleblowers go away. Yeah, to go away like yesterday. Okay, tall order, but that's the objective. And the behind-the-scenes maneuvering and tactics and strategy has resulted in something very interesting and something very much unlike the characters we know in the Ruto administration. Yeah, people are very impatient. People are very quick to act. For the first time, we are seeing they're taking their things mos. Well, we don't know how long this will last, but that is the current situation. And so, in that kind of scenario, this is why we have what we have. Yeah, whereas many people are feeling it's taking too long, and you dear people on the other side are biting at their nails, very tense, and wondering why something major is not happening yet. Now, in my latest weekly intelligence briefings, I dropped the bombshell of the move UD are going to make next, the Ruto administration. Yeah, so make sure you catch it, yeah, if you've not already caught it. WAB number 97, the very latest. But while all this is unfolding, there is something simmering in the country called Kenya that I want to bring to your attention. And I'm not sure if UDA and the Ruto administration are aware of this. Yeah, but it is definitely simmering. Now, for those who like to go in deep and understand things deeply, yeah, after today's show, you can Google the Easter Rebellion of 1916, yeah, for more information. But right now, let me go through it very quickly and why it's relevant to Kenya, yeah, Cerelac style, juju. And let me do it in the most interesting way, yeah, because I know many of us hate history. There is a brand new movie on Netflix titled Rebellion, which focuses on this Easter Rebellion of 1916. Actually, it's a series, 5 episodes. Very enjoyable, very captivating. Yeah, make sure you catch it for those of us who like movies that take time to bring out characters of humans. Yeah, something which is very close to real life. And in any case, Rebellion is based on real life events. Very quickly, this is what happened. A handful of Irish people, Irishmen and Irish women, who wanted independence from His Majesty's government at that time, organized a rebellion, an armed rebellion against the British over the Easter holidays. Yeah, that's why it's called the Easter Rebellion. And it lasted 6 days. The mighty British Army crushed it within those 6 days. Yeah, of course, with massive casualties. But they still crushed it. Now, when the rebels were being paraded for the first time, and this is where my main point is, when they were being paraded for the first time, jeered and booed them. Yeah, to them, these were people who were interrupting their lives, bringing fujo, bringing chaos. Some even spat on them. I believe this is a story that reminds us how quickly the public mood can change. And what happened next? The British Army were determined to teach anybody else, mtu yote ambaye angejaribu ama angetaka kujaribu tena, that there would be consequences. And so they overdid things. There were court-martials, and people executed. And what happened is that the public were outraged. Yes, they had spat on these people. Yes, they had jeered on these people. But after they saw the way the British Army responded, their hearts changed. And there was public outcry, which went well beyond the borders of Ireland, until the British Army were forced to change their approach, and to have a more humane approach. Instead of death penalty, life imprisonment, and so on. But it was too late. A vast majority of the Irish people now started standing firm with these ragtag rebels and the cause for an Ireland free from the Englishmen. And this came out very clearly 2 years later in 1918, when in those general elections, the Sinn Féin party, the radicals at that time in Ireland, the people who had organized the uprising, swept all political seats. They were very popular. The very same people who were spat on by the public were now the darlings of the people and the nation. Now, how does this apply to Kenya? Now, every day we're receiving reports of people defecting from Azimio, or people working with the government, politicians. So it is very easy to read the politics in Kenya completely wrong. Okay? The truth is, UDA and the Hustler movement had some support, quite some support, before the general elections. Not more than Azimio, but they had their supporters, especially in the Mount Kenya region and other areas of Kenya as well. They were there. Hustlers were there, supporters of that movement. And these hustlers were very enthusiastic, as we were being promised that the cost of living would come down within 100 days, and many, many other promises, which they cheered. But after the Ruto administration came into power, in my opinion, just like the British Army in Ireland in the year 1916, they have overdone things to make them very unpopular with the people. Coupled with the fact that the rosy promises that were given before the elections have not come to pass. In fact, they have now left a bitter taste in the mouth of people who are supporting hustlers and UDA before the elections. The result is a lot of this public sympathy, public support, has shifted to the already overcrowded Azimio side. That is precisely what has happened. And I don't think the UDA High Command has taken note of this. And if they have just ignored it. After all, they have government machinery. Kwani mutadu that kind of attitude? The precise same kind of attitude Mwai Kibaki had initially after the 2007 bungled presidential elections, and the same attitude President Uhuru Kenyatta had immediately after the 2017 presidential elections, the round 2. And the same attitude Daniel Toroitich arap Moi had when the opposition in Kenya started getting active, pushing for the repeal of the Section 2A in our then constitution to allow back multi-parties. But the last two gentlemen I've mentioned, former President Uhuru Kenyatta and the late Daniel Toroitich arap Moi, were different from the others because they realized what was happening in good time. They realized early, and they averted disaster. Uhuru Kenyatta went into a handshake with Raila Odinga, and disaster was averted. Daniel Toroitich arap Moi looked at the wave and decided it was too big, it was going to crush him, and he decided to ride with it in a very sly way. He allowed multi-party democracy to be reintroduced into Kenya, and so that he'd always be one step ahead of his opponents. And that is what happened until Moi retired in the year 2002. My fear is that the Ruto administration will not see it coming until it is too late. You see, public opinion, public mood, public anger are very dangerous things to any politician. And it doesn't matter where you are in the world, as long as there are humans in that place where you are. Public anger, the change of mood in the public to anger against you, is deadly. It is the thing which removes governments. Pop! Like yesterday. And every day, Ruto's options are reducing rapidly. Now I know people want instant coffee. They want things to change very fast. Trust me, they will change faster than most of us seasoned analysts are predicting. Why? Because the same thing that happened to the Irish people, who had no sympathy for the people who were rebelling initially, but later on grew very angry, and they showed their anger in an election that the Sinn Féin party swept, beyond a landslide. And of course it is the same anger the world saw and could not believe in a country called Sudan. Very recently, just the other day, just a handful of years ago, just the other day, and in so many other places all over the world. Bottom line, these mega rallies by Azimio are not what some people think. You can write them off. You can make comments which may look true right now, for the shallow people who don't realize what is happening in Kenya. You see, Kenya squeezy iko shida. People can't afford to take their children to school. Form 1s are reporting tomorrow. There's some parents who are under so much stress. They have no idea what they're going to do. Their children are supposed to report tomorrow, lakini hakuna pesa. And now, in the latest move by the UDA government, Kenyans are even going to start to pay some form of tax on a very basic human right, water, which is already scarce in many cities and towns around the country. Now Kenyans will have to go deep into their pockets to pay for water. Now Raila started today's rally by reading out a speech in English, which was titled, "Why Ruto Must Go." It was very precise, clear, and to the point. That heading. And he read the heading of his speech before reading the speech. Very interesting. And the response from the massive crowd at Kibra was predictable. People got very excited. Signs, those are signs. Ignore them at your own peril. Now very quickly, just two more highlights from Baba's mega rally. At the very end of the meeting, Raila spoke again. And he gave an ultimatum to the government to release the Korogosho MCA, Absalom Odhiambo. You see, he was charged in a court of law. The court threw out the case due to a technicality, the way the charges against him had been drawn. And then he was immediately rearrested after being released. And now is in custody once again. And Raila said he should be released by tomorrow. He did not tell us what the consequences will be if he's not released. But it will be interesting to see what happens. The other shocker is that the Jubilee Secretary General, Jeremiah Kioni, seems to have finished counting the Mount Kenya votes. And he told us that in the 2022 presidential elections, Raila Amolo Odinga from the Mount Kenya region got, wait for this one, 2.6 million votes. And by the way, those who have taken in WIB number 97 will be smiling and saying, "Oh, Chris alisema." Not about the number of votes, but something to do with Mount Kenya. Some earth-shattering, beyond belief information. Still highly sensitive. But it is a shocker concerning what happened on the 9th of August last year concerning Mount Kenya votes. Let me just leave it at that. And now, before I go, the big surprise I promised at the beginning of the show today. Now, as many of you know, I recently marked 1 year since my best friend, my workmate here at Kumekucha, the co-founder of Kumekucha, left us. Mrs. Kumekucha. You know, you never really appreciate and realize just how big a role people are playing until they're not there. But I guess that's human nature. Now, I've been thinking for a long time what to do to mark this 1 year anniversary, and to help me as I'm healing, and to help me in my moving on. Now, don't worry, I don't want to bore you with my personal grief. That's irrelevant. I've been thinking long and hard about something special I can do as a remembrance, so that it's recorded. I mean, people are going to watch these videos long after we're gone, so that people may remember that something happened. A member of the team left the team. And so for the next 48 hours, I am giving away free of charge, in remembrance, 20 free, completely free, no charge at all, life memberships to my weekly intelligence briefings. This is also all for a better Kenya. Because the more Kenyans who have access to this sensitive information, so that they totally understand where we are, the better it will be for our beloved motherland. And hopefully, we will start to see this better Kenya sooner rather than later. And this is how we are going to do it, so that we are fair to everybody, and especially to those who have been following Kumekucha for a long time, and leaving their comments. And maybe they're not in a position, they've never been in a position to get my WABs. This is a big chance. So all you need to do is to drop me an email at the email address you see on your screens right now. You missed this at gmail.com. And make sure you put in the subject area the Mrs. Kumekucha offer. Please make sure you put Mrs. Kumekucha offer in the subject area, because we receive a lot of emails. So it will be easy for me to miss your email if you don't. And then within the email, please put in the handle you use to leave your comments on the channel. It's as simple as that. Just the name you use on YouTube when you're leaving your comments on this channel. And I'll write back to you if you're successful, giving you live membership to my weekly intelligence briefings. Now, during this period of 48 hours, when we're doing this free offer, completely free, I will interrupt the current special offer. And now you'll be able to get live membership only within this 48-hour period for the year of birth of the late Mrs. Kumekucha, 1988. And for 1 year membership to my WAB, 1888. So please go for it. Only 48 hours. The offer strictly ends after 48 hours. You can see all the details for this on your screens right now. Please allow me to take this opportunity to thank from the bottom of my heart all those of you wonderful people out there who have been praying for me. I'm well on my way to healing. And I thank you so much for your prayers. I'm here to tell you, I could feel your prayers. Asanteni sana. Na mbarikiwe sana. Naomba Mungu awabariki mpaka mshangae. Thank you so much. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.